There's a lot of storms in Seattle this offseason.
You know, it's crazy. It was just thunder. As you hit, as it like the one went off the screen and it started, it said "Doo, doo, 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 doo," and you said it's a lot of storms. Crazy.
Hey, listen, that just means we on the right path, right track right now. What we got going on here, but definitely a stormy off season for stormy into the season, off season. It's a lot. There's a lot going on in Seattle. All right. Um.
Sleepless?
Huh?
Are they sleepless?
You said, are they sleepless? Oh,
Yeah,
sleepless
sleepless
in
in Seattle.
Seattle.
I tried to, I tried to reel you in. You was like, "What?" Yeah, man.
Anyways, but no, they saw a lot of shake up this off season. As that one video said, it was like a suspect just has a lot going on. But as the storm starts to clear up, um, I guess there's a new sense of direction. How many storm puns is that within the first minute?
Oh, no.
But no, saw Jewel Lloyd left as a result of a three team deal that landed Kelsey Plum to the Los Angeles Sparks, Jewel Lloyd to the Las Vegas Aces, and them getting the number two pick in return. That pick went on to be Dominique Malonga. Oh, Malonga.
Longer.
Malonga. That's what I thought I said the first time. No?
No, just the fact that you had to look at it at all. That's why. Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, you had me second guessing myself when I said that because you was like, but I had to make sure I was. Anyways, Ricky out of France. France are producing the top, some of the top talent that we've seen in the sport between Vic. I'm laughing because of whose name I'm about to pick up.
Hmm. Go ahead, say his name.
Vic, Zach, Alex.
Zach is crazy.
But no, man. Definitely the Dominique as to the amount of young talent coming out of France. Um, she's paired up with her teammate Gabby Williams, national teammate. So she's back for another season with the Storm. Lexi Brown, new addition to the Storm. Alicia Clark is back with the Storm. Um, yeah. What are your thoughts on this? Oh, Zaya Cook as well. Um, what are your thoughts on the Storm team heading into the season?
Um, they're kind of similar to the Mercury in where they've got a lot of talent, but I think their surrounding pieces are better than Phoenix. Um,
Yeah.
you mentioned, like you mentioned, they were signed, or they cored and re-signed Gabby Williams. They re-signed NECA. Uh, then they signed Alicia Clark, Erica Wheeler, Mackenzie Holmes. Um, you mentioned the trade that they traded Joel Lloyd, getting back the second pick in this draft or this past draft, a 2026 first round pick and Leah Rue. They signed Breonna Fraser to a training camp deal as well, acquired Lexi Brown and a number 26 pick for the number 21 pick and a 2027 second round pick. They signed Katie Lou Samuelson, who tore her ACL on May 2nd. We're recording this on May 6th, joining both Jordan Horston and Nika Mule as Seattle Storm players that are currently out with torn ACLs. So, well wishes to all of them.
Yes, yes,
Speedy
yes.
recovery to all of them as well. Definitely hurt for Katie Lou. I think this is going to be a season where she was able to bounce back. It's like the first full season that she was able to play and just work out and really focus on her game since having her first child. Um, Like you mentioned, they drafted Dominique Malonga. They also drafted Serena Sundell, Madison Connor, and Jordan Hobbs. They suspended the contracts of Nico Mule and Jordan Horson due to their injuries, so that they still have those roster spots, but they're still on the roster. Um, the biggest thing for them in terms of outlook for me is the fact that Gabby Williams is going to be there for the entire season. Um,
Hmm.
she's all-star talent, maybe even all WNBA talent.
Yes.
She's defensive player of the year caliber player.
Yes.
Um, and is really capable of doing a lot of things on the offensive end. I know people always think of her for her defensive capabilities, but she's really capable of doing a lot offensively as well. And I think her being next to Nneka Ogwumike is crazy. Actually, I mean, honestly, that defense, like Gabby and Ezzy alone, is a terrifying front court defensively. But you add Nneka and Skylar, and then you still have an Alicia Clark that you can throw out there. Lexi Brown's a good defender.
Yep.
Um, Dominic Malonga is a great defender as well. So obviously, we have to see what her capabilities look like early on in her rookie season. But I think their defense is going to be really good. I think the offense will come. I think shooting is something that I'm looking to see from them. That starting lineup, if it turns out to be some iteration of Skylar, Nneka, Gabby, Ezzy, and then potentially like a Lexi Brown. Lexi Brown is really the only shooter on the team or on that starting lineup. Skylar can shoot it, but she's not considered a shooter. Um, and I don't think they have a ton of shooters off the bench. Serena Sundell can shoot it a little bit. Um, Katie
You
Lou
got
would have been
Alicia
their best
Clark.
shooter probably. Alicia Clark can shoot it off the bench for sure. Jordan Hobbs is a pretty good shooter as well. So um, that's one thing that I'm looking at is the shooting. But as he gets better year after year, so I'm expecting her to continue that. Skylar and Necker are two of the greatest players in WNBA history. I assume that they'll still play like themselves. Alicia Clark coming back is huge for them. I feel like just having that piece off the bench and that veteran leadership that they probably could have used last year. Um, Curious to see what Dominique Malonga's rookie year impact looks like. Does she start next to Ezzy? Do they play big lineups like her, Ezzy, Gabby, and Nneka? Which I think they can. They can dabble in that, see how that goes. Um, I really hope Leah Rue makes the team. I think she's a really good player, but there's a lot of center play already. And if Dominique is not starting, then I think that hurts her chances of making the roster especially when you have someone like even Mackenzie Holmes there too. So uh, I don't know. I just feel like Leah Rue hasn't really gotten the opportunity to really show what she can do, and when she has, then like last year with LA, like she would have one really good game, and then the next game she wouldn't even get on the court. So if it's not this team, hopefully there's another team that she can help out. But I'm curious to see who makes the team out of the rookies as well. I think Serena Sundell can make the team for sure. Um, their strengths for me would be the post presence for sure, versatility in the front court between Gabby, Neka, Ezzy, Skyler. Obviously, like just having that as your point guard is a strength. Their defense, and
Hmm.
then their weaknesses would be probably wing depth at this point. Like you
Yeah.
have great wings, but outside of your starters and then Alicia Clark with Katie Lou going down, you're kind of missing some wing play there. And then I don't mean any disrespect, but if a certain player is their backup point guard, that's a weakness. Just being honest, she hasn't been a very good point guard for the past couple of years. She played for the Fever the last couple of years.
Oh, I was like, oh, I was wondering where you were going with that,
Yeah,
but yeah.
that's a weakness in
Um,
my opinion.
yeah, a couple of things that stand out as far as his roster construction goes. Um, I am excited to see Ezzy McGregor this season. Her development has been crazy year to year. She's definitely one of the more underrated players this in the league, and definitely has that All Star potential. Was she an All Star last year, or was she close to being an All Star? I feel like
Who?
she was Ezzy McGregor.
I believe so.
Yeah. So
Let me check.
her development has been crazy. She's emerging as one of the better post players in the league, and
She was All Star the prior year, not last year.
Not last year. Okay.
She's
Um,
2023, but not last year.
got it. That's what I figured. But yeah, no.
Which
I feel
if the Olympic thing wasn't, she might have been All Star last
that's what I'm thinking as
year.
well because
Yeah,
I think she was yeah. So yeah, with her just taking another leap, I feel like she will this year and really submit herself as one of the better bigs in this league. She's been tremendous since she stepped on the floor, and it seems like she's gotten better every game since her career has started. Um, Another player that I'm intrigued, I don't want to say intrigued by, but want to talk about is Lexi Brown. She's dealt with a lot in terms of her in terms of her overall health, dealing with Crohn's disease, and like that season she had with the Sparks, not last season, but season before last, before she was out due to the illness, was a pretty good season for her. It finally she like seemed like she finally found her stride and found a home and was making a case for an All Star spot, but like not quite there. I don't know, but she was like having arguably the best season of her career that season 2 years ago, and then ultimately just missed the rest of that season due to the illness. But hopefully she's able to have a full season, healthy season, um, because I mean she could help this team out tremendously, space the floor. One of the better shooters in the league, and just someone you just rooting for, that you want them like want to see them do well, like how I mean, kind of like how we feel about Katie Lou as well. Someone who's dealt with a lot in her personal career, but I mean, she's out with a ACL injury, so I mean that's a blow there. But I am excited to see how this team looks with Gabby Williams for at least well, she'll be with the team for this full season, right? So yeah,
unless
that
I don't think there's anything that will happen for France with Eurobasket since they won the silver in the Olympics, but that
yeah,
would be the only thing. Uh, like Eurobasket's the only thing that's going on that would have some players leaving. Like that's why you stay Yochite isn't coming over.
gotcha. But yeah, no, definitely excited to see how the team looks with Gabby Williams and Ezzy and Dom and NECA and Skylar, and Leisha back with the Storm. It's a tough squad, man. This is a tough team. This is a team that can make some noise, that can disrupt and give the contenders a hard time. Like I can see this team being as high as maybe four, um, probably as low as six, but definitely a team to watch out for if they can. I mean, I feel like last year they had a good amount of chemistry, but with the change or the turnaround that they've had in this off season, losing a piece like Jewel Lloyd, who was an important part of your roster, and was definitely a priority option offensively. Just seeing how the offense looks, but I mean, they definitely have the talent to compete with the top of the league. Just I don't know, they really just like not a middle team, but it's just they lean more towards that contender. Like they're like a piece, or they're I don't even say a piece. They're just a matter how they execute with this squad. Like I gotta see this team on the floor more to really see if they are missing a piece or not. But I mean, I think this team can compete.
Yeah, I think that if they're missing anything, it would be like a perimeter shot creator
Yeah.
outside of Skyler. I think you know what you're going to get from NECA. Ezzy is going to be Ezzy. Guy
Mhm.
Williams brings a lot of versatility to the team,
Mhm.
but you don't really have anyone that can create a shot at the two. At least it feels that way at this current moment.
Yeah.
Um, So that would be the one thing for me. But that's why I think Gabby Williams is going to be so important to this team because if she can be one of the go-to scorers, I think that opens the door for them to compete at a higher level. Because when you have a player like her, like she plays with a different confidence overseas, and we saw how she played in the Olympics, and you're playing against the best players from America, um, and from everybody else's country as well, not just in the gold medal game. Um, she was phenomenal. So
Yeah.
there's no reason she can't do that here in the WNBA, especially with someone, especially with her being with a team that knows her well and that she's been with for years and years. So
Oh,
um, I expect her to have a huge season. I think that is what could catapult the Storm into being one of the top contenders in the league.
yeah. It was scary last year how she came in at the time she did come in and immediately made them a scary team. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that stretch that she had when she did came back to the W, where she was just going crazy. But I do think she's a ceiling raiser, floor raiser for the squad. Um, and I definitely look forward to seeing, with Jewel Lloyd gone, her getting more touches and her being a bigger part of this offense than she was last year. And they just look to see how they choose a scheme and choose to use her in certain circumstances.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Trying to think if there's anything else.
This
No,
is
no,
basically the team, though. I'm
yeah,
looking at they only have 15 on the roster, 14 if you're counting Katie Lou. Um, so this is basically the roster. They only have to make two cuts. Um, so they aren't like other teams. Some of these teams have like 18, 19, 16 players.
yeah,
So at least what they're doing in training camp and in practice and what they'll do in games will be true to what they'll be doing in the regular season. Dominique, um, don't know if she'll play in the preseason. Um, don't know if Gabby will play in the preseason either, since she's just coming over from finishing up a season.
uh-huh,
But at least when you're practicing and you're in training camp and things like that, for the most part what your rotation is going to look like. What players are going to be in what roles, and I think that's important too at this stage of the season or of the year, I
yeah,
should say, because the season hasn't really started yet.
yeah. I'm interested in seeing if Zaya Cook makes the final roster or not. I think she should. And seeing what her role would
They can
be.
use that scoring.
Yeah, because she's someone that can create for herself and can get to the cup. Not a little different at the W level than at the collegiate level, but I mean she's still a hell of a player, and been looking to see how she develops. This is what year 3 for her, so I would love to see how she
Yep.
develops, and she got a good opportunity to do so with this roster with this team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, anyways, man, rain, storms, or clear skies, we'll be here to break down what goes down in Seattle here on the Most City Media YouTube channel. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Appreciate you.